Listen, we've landed ourselves in the strangest kind of mess. We go through our days treating everything with this intense gravity, like it's all one massive test where a single slip-up might condemn us forever. But imagine if I revealed that this whole spectacle, this epic saga of being alive, is really just an intricate plaything. And just like in any game, if you grasp the guidelines, you can master it with real finesse, and even find delight in the process. Pause and consider that. As a kid, you dove into games constantly. Make-believe cowboys and natives, playing house, imaginary tea gatherings. You immersed yourself fully, believing every bit of it. You were utterly the sheriff, completely the parent, whipping up fantastical meals, yet deep down, you knew it was all for fun. When your mom shouted it was time to eat, you'd shed the pretense instantly. No hesitation. You wouldn't hang on to that cowboy persona. No meltdown over losing your part once playtime wrapped up. But at some point, we lost that playful instinct. We turned into what I'd term immersion performers in life's grand production. We sank so deep into our parts that we overlooked the fact we were performing. We began convincing ourselves we truly embody the executive, the homemaker, the triumph, the flop. And when you lose sight of the role-playing, the fun turns into a cage. Now, when I claim existence as a game, I'm not suggesting it's insignificant or pointless. Games hold tremendous value. You engage with full vigor, with fervor, pouring your all into it, yet you keep that effortless poise. The opening principle of this universal pastime might shock you the most. You're not the identity you believe yourself to be. That individual tied to your label with its unique backstory, its personal anxieties and aspirations, that's merely your avatar in the setup. It's a facade, a part you've portrayed so authentically that you've deceived your own self. So, who is the authentic you? Well, now we're on to something intriguing. The true you is the participant, not the figure. You're the consciousness that watches ideas, emotions, perceptions come and go. You're the expanse where every encounter emerges and fades. You're, in essence, the platform where the full story plays out. When you truly grasp this, really internalize it, the dynamics shift dramatically. You see, you've resembled a performer so entangled in his script that he overlooked the option to remove the outfit and head back to reality. All at once, it hits you. You're not confined to the persona. You can handle it adeptly, savor it deeply, without letting it lock you down. Here's one more guideline that so many overlook. The game lacks any conclusive triumph. No grand reward awaits, no endpoint to claim success and bow out. The essence lies in the engagement itself. Society has conditioned us to view life as a trek toward some goal, yet it's far more akin to melody or rhythm. You don't sway to reach a specific corner of the room. You don't tune into an orchestra just to hit the closing chord. The significance resides in the motion, the rhythm, the act of partaking. Instead, we've twisted existence into a sprint. We race past youth to claim maturity. We speed through education to launch into jobs. We toil relentlessly toward that golden retirement. Then we end up in our chairs, pondering how it all vanished. We were too focused on arriving elsewhere to notice the sole spot we occupied, right here. Right now, in this instant, the game unfolds eternally. Not in some future bliss or a past perfection, but precisely at this juncture. This is the exclusive moment of true action. Still, most of us act like concert-goers who ignore the live tunes, fixated on the brochure, guessing at upcoming acts rather than absorbing what's on stage. One more captivating feature of this setup: it's utterly stacked to benefit you. Why? Because regardless of events or the parts you assume, true defeat is impossible. You're more than your avatar. You're the whole affair. Picture it like this. In a nightmare, a beast might pursue you, filling you with dread. But upon awakening, you recognize you were both the pursued and the pursuer. You crafted the whole scene. Similarly, in this vast cosmic play, you're not merely a single contender, you're the play unfolding through itself. This could come across as esoteric fluff, but reflect on it. Every individual who gets under your skin, every trial that tests you, they're all elements of your reality. They manifest within your perception. In a profound way, the full cosmos you perceive occurs within your mind. You're not some isolated speck battling a cruel realm. You're the realm observing its own reflection via what you label as, quote. When you catch this punchline, and it is the grandest universal gag, your entire outlook on existence transforms. You cease viewing it all as a personal attack. When somebody points out your flaws, rather than jumping to defend yourself, consider this. Quote. 1. In tough spots, instead of wondering why this is landing on you, flip it to, why are you showing up in this scenario? After all, if you're the whole show, you're not a casualty of events. You're those events manifesting as hurdles to spice up the adventure. But hold on, let's clear up a key point. This isn't about going limp or aloof. Quite the opposite. Once you grasp that it's all a game, you engage it with real flair and vigor. You invest fully in your choices without crumbling if they fall short. You embrace love wholly, yet survive unscathed if it's unreciprocated. You pour energy into your pursuits without shattering when results lag. The key lies in what I term a gentle grip on the play. Picture a master improviser in jazz. You grasp the tune's core framework, yet stay primed to riff. You attune to your fellow players' cues. You avoid shoving the melody into a rigid mold. Instead, you merge with it, toy with it, sway alongside it. Too many folks tackle existence as if scoring a symphony under a tyrannical maestro, each beat locked in place, zero margin for impulse or invention. Yet reality vibes more like jazz. The underlying beat persists, but inside it, endless chances unfold for ad-libbing and delight. One of the freest guidelines in this setup? Consistency isn't required. You're free from any duty to mirror who you were moments back. The persona you've embodied, flaws and all, isn't etched in stone. It's akin to an outfit you swap out. We pour heaps of effort into shielding our ego, safeguarding our standing, upholding our traits. Imagine if, in every instant, you could morph into whoever suits the moment. Rather than chained to history, you evolve anew, not chaotically, but in a smooth, inventive flow that lets you meet each circumstance with fresh eyes. Kids pull this off effortlessly. In a flash, they're royalty, next a fierce beast, then a speed demon on wheels. Consistency? Not on their radar. They skip the doubt. Hold up, last time I was queen, so no beasts allowed now. And the magic here, every soul you encounter is you in another guise, tackling a fresh part. That grating co-worker, the thorny family member, the passerby who flashed a grin. They're all you, probing the feel of varied figures in this grand stage play, spotting that sparks true empathy. Not the pitying sort that patronizes, but the realization you're all co-stars in one vast script, enacting scenes in the universal spotlight. Sure, on the surface folks differ wildly, unique quirks, histories, approaches to their scripts. But deep down, the consciousness peering through their gaze is identical to yours. Think of us as panes in a single dwelling, framing distinct vistas, yet bound in one edifice. Now onto a thorny game element, the bit that trips up most. How to navigate agony, how to maneuver adeptly when the tide shifts harshly. When fate hands you a seeming dud, start here. Distress isn't identical to hurt. Hurt is innate, unavoidable. Bash your foot, it stings. Lose a dear one, sorrow hits. These weave into the human tapestry, adding depth and thrill to the contest. Distress, though, that's another beast. It's the tale we spin around the hurt, the pushback against reality, the insistence that things unfold otherwise. Hurt declares, "This aches." Distress protests, "This ought not to be." It's unjust. It spells doom for me or what's ahead. Grasping this split lets you meet hurt head-on, sans the piled-on distress. You sense grief without the insistence on joy. You tackle obstacles without casting yourself as prey. You handle reversals without scripting catastrophe. View it as climate. Rain falls at times, sun gleams others. The heavens neither fight the downpour nor grip the glow. They just let conditions roll. You might treat your inner climate likewise. Joy surges sometimes, melancholy others. Fog clouds in, clarity follows. None endure forever. They're merely facets of the shifting skies within. Awareness is key. Let me share another principle that can conserve a ton of your mental energy. You aren't obligated to form a view on every single thing, nor do you need to label every moment as positive or negative, correct or incorrect. At times, it's enough to remark how intriguing it is and move on. Society has conditioned us to perpetually assess, to ceaselessly determine if we're fond of or repelled by what's unfolding. Yet this non-stop evaluation drains us completely. Picture a reviewer who can't savor a film because they're fixated on dissecting each frame. Occasionally, you can just observe, immerse yourself, exist in the now without demanding a stance on it. The expert navigator treats their perspectives with a loose grip. They may harbor likes, but they don't grip them tightly. They relish their go-to meal without frustration if it's unavailable. The instant you believe you've cracked the code, existence will hurl an unforeseen twist your way. As soon as you settle into your current function, events will nudge you toward a new one. Rather than pushing back against these shifts, you can start embracing them. They add spice to the journey. Think of a chess match where your opponent repeats identical strategies every time, or a film where the storyline is utterly predictable from start to finish. Wouldn't that grow dull quickly? It's the unanticipated developments, the narrative surprises, the sudden detours that transform existence into an exhilarating quest instead of a monotonous grind. Once you release the urge to micromanage every aspect, once you cultivate an appreciation for the unforeseen, you'll discover the world perpetually captivating rather than perpetually aggravating. One of the most freeing realizations in this pursuit is that errors don't truly exist, only lessons. Those you deem flops are merely trials that veered off course. Those you hail as triumphs are trials that surpassed your hopes. Yet all serve as mere markers in the vast exploration of humanity. An infant mastering steps doesn't deem a tumble a defeat. We expect flawless execution right out of the gate. We view slip-ups as proof of shortcomings instead of inherent steps in growth. We convert each misstep into proof of our flaws. Imagine tackling your entire existence with that youngster's mindset toward wobbling upright. Suppose each blunder offered mere insight, each setback provided guidance. How unburdened might you feel without hauling that weight of self-criticism over your flawed efforts? Here's a further twist about this endeavor that could catch you off guard. The top performers often seem the least engaged. They glide through days with seamless grace, not from indifference, but from aligning with the inherent rhythm instead of battling it. It's akin to the contrast between battling the current versus drifting along it. Each demands expertise, but one depletes while the other revitalizes. Grasping life's undercurrents, discerning the rhythms of reality, allows you to achieve far more with far less strain. This isn't about sloth or surrender. It's about savvy timing, knowing when to engage and when to pause, when to press and when to flex. It's about honing what the Chinese term wu wei, typically rendered as inaction, yet truly denoting action attuned flawlessly to the circumstance. Like a river curving past boulders, the stream doesn't clash with the obstacle. It merely navigates around, and through that, it slowly erodes the stone. Such is the strength of the subtle method, the delicate handling. The adept participant who grasps that brute power seldom resolves existence's puzzles. A vital element in excelling here involves juggling various personas at once without muddling their boundaries, and you hear of the point of master, and, from Bhagaval of the Psalms of Tilaza. Every persona demands its unique demands, its attire, its essence. The adept one shifts smoothly among them without drifting from their core. They might stand firm in deal-making and soft with their kids. They could absorb as a learner here and impart as a guide there. They avoid trapping themselves in one mold. Many err by striving to remain identical across all scenarios. They believe genuineness requires unchanging rigidity, no flexibility. True genuineness, though, lies in suiting the instant, the bond, the setting. It's akin to a talented performer embodying diverse characters persuasively, rooted in the profound unity linking every part. Allow me to reveal one of the deepest insights into this pursuit. The guidelines aren't set in stone, they evolve, and frequently do, so depending on your engagement style. Herein lies the true enchantment. Most pursuits enforce strict protocols binding all, yet this pursuit of living resembles a collaborative imagined life as an improvisational adventure where the guidelines shift based on your moves. Your decisions, your mindset, your entire approach truly shape how the journey plays out. When you face the world with anxiety and distrust, you often run into circumstances that reinforce those worries. But if you embrace it with wonder and receptivity, you'll uncover chances for excitement and discovery. Cast yourself as the sufferer, and you'll attract folks ready to act as antagonists. Step into the hero's shoes, and you'll tap into your inner strength for bravery and innovation. This goes beyond mere optimism or daydreaming. It's an acknowledgement that your mind isn't merely a bystander. It doesn't just witness existence, it's actively shaping it. Your focus, your intentions, your selections all serve as key elements in crafting your reality. One of the game's most enchanting features is that everybody can triumph, though not through the typical notion of victory. Conventional success usually means someone else's setback. Yet, in this grand universal drama, your achievements don't demand others' losses. Actually, the better you navigate it, the more you empower those around you to excel as well. True contentment in you doesn't breed unhappiness in others. It motivates them to seek their own fulfillment. Real serenity doesn't spark disputes. It guides people toward their inner calm. Being your genuine self doesn't belittle anyone. It invites them to embrace their true nature. That's why the experts, the masterful participants, often appear to be engaged in a wholly separate pursuit from the crowd. They're not vying for position. They're not seeking validation. They're not tallying points. They engage purely for the delight of the experience. And mysteriously, those nearby begin to perform more adeptly, too. Allow me to reveal one last principle, maybe the most crucial. The adventure doesn't truly conclude. What we label as passing away is merely swapping outfits, switching characters, altering the backdrop. The essence of you, the observer who's followed this entire show, persists onward. Grasping this deeply transforms your perspective. You cease gripping so tightly to your present persona. You lose that intense dread of transformation. You come to see that you're not simply a participant in the drama. You are the drama itself, unfolding through endless variations via diverse figures and narratives. So, we've reached the close of our shared journey here. Of course, there's no true conclusion, just like there was no absolute start. There's just this timeless present, this perpetual play, this splendid expression of awareness revealing itself across every imaginable shape and encounter. The next time you catch yourself treating existence with excessive gravity, recall these insights. You're not a lone fighter battling a cruel cosmos. You are the cosmos, delighting in the guise of a separate entity, probing the sensations of seeming hardship, seeming triumph, seeming defeat, seeming conquest. It's all an act. It's all a whirl. It's all a symphony. And you embody the creator who crafts the melody, performs the rhythm, and twirls amid the harmony. Engage masterfully, engage with glee, engage with that gentle ease born from realizing it's one extraordinary universal spectacle. And keep in mind, in this spectacle, all can claim victory since all are you, and you are all. We're simply the singular awareness pretending to be a multitude. The spectacle endures forever. It merely shifts its guise. And oh, what a captivating spectacle it is.